Alright boys, this is a video that I actually fairly was really interested about, but I didn't get all the info. This is going to be sort of a preview, but still a huge leak on the episodes. And I know we've been talking about the episodes there and there, but I wanted to get one more video out on all three and sort of much more info that we can dive into this leak. This is not something that has been totally clarified by everybody because it's not been really seen. It just really came out. So I wanted to get, caught first on it. And I was reading a couple things and I wanted to make a video on it. So this will go into Echoes, Revenant, Heresy, and some other little things. And I just wanted to put out there that, again, these are episodes. We really don't know what the format will look like once it enters into the live game. And it looks like right after Final Shape, we are going to get Echoes. So as soon as we get into the Pale Heart, as soon as we're emoting with Crow and Cade, we got to start thinking after we kill the Witness, what are we doing next? And that's Echoes. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, I would really appreciate if all of you would go to the description down below and join my new Discord server called the Redrix Nation. I would love for all of you to just go there and chill and play and be like an awesome community, which you guys obviously are. And I want you guys to let me know what you want for that server. I would love some new moderators because obviously I'm starting from scratch. I would love to have it more active than my old server. My old server was basically dead. So I want to get some things up there. I want to do movie nights, giveaways. You guys know the whole drill. And obviously once or whenever I, want to transition to maybe other games after Destiny is kind of done for me, who knows, we will do that. But yeah, please be sure to join. It would mean a lot. But other than that, let's get right into it. So yes, guys, Echoes, the first main episode, which will be probably taking place in June and July. Again, I don't know how Bungie's going to start it off with this. I don't know if it's right after the raid's done. But you guys know it's Vex themed. We might be getting some Vex themed aesthetic weapons and armor. It's going to be akin to Season of the Undying and Season of the Splicer mixed together, and then a huge expansion drop. That's how I'm seeing it, and we're going to see a lot of characters from Lightfall. Maya, Sunderish, and Nimbus will be making return, plus Mithrax and Osiris. So it's going to have a lot of characters from Lightfall. Obviously, the Vex was in, a lot of the backstory within the Lightfall sort of Neomuna area, but it wasn't really in the Lightfall story unless you count Strand, but I don't really count that. So Vex will be really akin in this. So apparently the Vex will be starting incursions near and inside the last city, similar to Season of the Splicer's ending. So maybe after the Witness is killed, boom, the Vex come and start invading us and be like, yo, what's up, bros? We're gonna start taking out your city again, and we have to repeat the cycle all over again. Apparently, they're taking Guardian's Ghost and draining their light for study akin to the Lucent Hive. So, yes, this is what's going to happen. The entire, win-win-win. We kill the Witness, everything is all awesome, and then Vex come in here and start taking Ikora's light and then kill her and, that whole drill. So, basically, Vex are big bads. And one of the big things we want to talk about, jokes aside, is that the Vex will somewhat, apparently, it's going to be being told out that we'll get the power of paracausality. Obviously, that's the thing we want to prevent because if the Vex have the power of paracausality, they're basically unstoppable machines. So we might see that, and that will be really interesting. Now, Maya is apparently managed to find Asher Mir's simulation of the Veil from the Avalon quest way back when Lightfall started. Since it's a paracausal object, the Vex might become paracausal and then it's all over. One of the activities involves going to the Vex network and fighting off light-augmented Vex. Not really paracausal, but with very close simulations of our powers. So yes, the Vex will basically be able to, be cooler in some way because of this light augmented thing. Now, I would really love, I know it won't happen because Ghosts, I don't think, will ever resurrect Vex, and that would be so awesome, but yet so screwed up in the lore. I would love for a Vex to use some sort of new super energy type deal. I would love, a Hobgoblin using Nova Bomb. How cool would that be? Again, we might be seeing some more power type deal with the Vex this coming episode. The story activity will visit old respiratories within the networks, where Maya Sunderish conducted some research on paracausality to try and gain some info. Other old locations we visit include Infinite Forest and Venus, but not as patrol. So it's going to be Infinite Forest, Venus, and it looks like Neomuna. All those three destinations will sort of be taking place in this. Now, we were told that Venus was going to come back as a patrol zone. I don't know if they're going to do that for an entire episode, my bad. But you never know. Season of Haunted kind of added it in for a while. But looking at this together, we can see that Infinite Forest, Venus, and Neomuna, all three now destinations basically coming into play instead of just one, which is really cool. All Vex type aesthetic places. Now, there will be new weapons, but they use old models, but tuned to look like Season of the Splicer weapons with cables, neon colors, and such. So it's really going into that Vex aesthetic. If you love that, that's what you're going to get. Now, there will be one new exotic quest set in the Ishtar Academy on Venus. Now, it's being told that we're going to get 2 to 3 exotic quests within these episodes. If you see the schedule, go on Bungie.net and look at the schedule that we got. You can see that there's basically one new exotic quest every 6 weeks or whatever, so we are likely getting a lot of stuff. And remember, there's going to be more cinematic content and more exotic quests and exotic missions with these episodes than seasons ever gone before. So we're going to get a lot with this. At the end of the story, apparently Mithrax will get somewhat exposure to Nezarac's curse from its relics. Now, we don't know if the relics still exist. The last thing we were told is that he used the relics to use it into making this black tea that woke Osiris up to tell Saint and tell everybody about the entire Neomuna type deal city, and then that's how Season of the Seraph started. But it looks like Nezarac's curse relics might be still out there, and that could be definitely a plotline to get Mithrax to quote-unquote die, and then, as it states here, come back as a guardian. We could see that. I know that whole thing with Mithrax, the Fallen are probably the most likely, and the Cabal are most likely to get the light and become guardians if the Hive could, and I would love for the Fallen, the Elixir, to get the light again, and Mithrax would be an awesome guardian. It'd be really cool. Who knows? I would love it. I would love the plotline with that. But that really concludes what we got for Echoes. Now, going into Revenant, this is really interesting. It's going to be Scorn themed, like you guys know, and Vickrul is supposed to be making a massive return, and Crow will be in a center stage within the season. We've been talking about how Crow this season had some little, knockbacks to the Scorn, and apparently a lot throughout this season is that the Scorn apparently are trying to, figure out how to do this without a leader, trying to build up their mind. Imagine if the Scorn could actually be a cool one species, because I don't count it as a cool sort of undead fallen type race at all. It's just annoying little kids using freaking torches all the time, but just in general actually having less obediency to the Witness or the Wrath to be its own sort of deal. The Scorn under the Witness's control are now obedient to Zedor Wrath to do her bidding since she is now mortal. Apparently that's what it's being stated. I know Zedor Wrath is not going to have its episode until Heresy, but there might be some little hints here and there with Revenant. This is supposed to launch till September, probably go on till November, December, sometime around there at the end of the year. So apparently the Fanatic returned, yes. Vickrul, really awesome to see that. He's trying to get a better life to his Scorn. That's all he wants, and apparently it's being told that he does not I think him and the Witness, I don't really know what type of relationship they have. Obviously there has been Scorn that's really obedient to the Witness, but now if the Witness is dead, he's not going to have that. And they're basically developing a crud culture as seen in Warlord's Ruin. And it's a 3-front conflict between us. Zedu's Scorn, Fanatic's Scorn, and then you have the Scorn that's kind of just there. So you're going to get a lot of these new type of Scorn. I don't want to say Scorn kingdoms, if you will, but you know what I mean, with the Fallen of how they had tons of other kingdoms and whatever. I'm not good with Fallen and Scorn lore, believe me. You can really criticize all you want in the comments about it, because I'm crap at it. But basically, seasonal activities may take place in the Tango Shore, but not again as a patrol. Tango Shore is probably the biggest destination out of all of them, has the highest possibility to return in this, as well as the Vestian Outpost from Destiny 1 also has a return as a seasonal hub. We talked about that. Basically, Bungie got to bring back the Rise of Iron seasonal hub as well as the Vestian Outpost. There's literally nothing bad, and just wasting maybe 10 minutes and put it back, all the assets into the game. I know that's not how it works, but seriously, add it back. I love that place. Weapons are Tangled Shore guns, but modified to look like Scorn weapons. So basically, a really huge Scorn aesthetic with this episode, which I'm really awesome about. Story ends with Crow talking to Vickrul and explaining his death and resurrection as a guardian and the way they make amends, but he doesn't call Crow his father anymore. He doesn't become an ally either, but rather we decide to leave them alone and let them prosper. So this is really interesting. I love this. This is probably one of the best endings, in my opinion, that I hope Bungie does. Because I feel like they can't just go out and say, okay, let's go kill Vickrul. Because to my belief, Vickrul can't die. Just saying. I think he like keeps coming back, right? So I don't think Vickrell should just die out and just be like a normal, like, oh, he's like Zito Wrath, boom, dead. There you go. I feel like they should just not become allies, one, but just make amends, be like, okay, here's you. It's like the Awoken from Destiny 1. We kind of like, okay, let them do their own thing. We don't hate them. But if the Crow would actually talk to Vickrell, like, in person in the cutscene, like, imagine that kind of cutscene. That's so cinematic. That's so awesome. Let that be the case, god damn it. So I would love that to happen. And with Heresy, again, little is known to this point because now this episode is delayed to basically 2025, which sucks. But it's going to be Hive-themed, and Zito Wrath is going to be pissed at us for what we've done so far. Killed Oryx, allied with the Lucent Savathun Brood for a give or take amount. I don't know. It's a weird alliance that we have with her. Killed the Witness, and she's mortal. So there's basically a lot of thing going on. Apparently, it was going to be listed prior to Season of the Witch, before it was made in development, that we were going to get Zito Wrath's Throne World. However, that place is just gone. We will never get to see that place because it's just done, nada. So a lot of talks are about maybe a War Moon or even the Moon. Zito Wrath might go to the Moon. And there's talks about, you know, expanding the Moon a little bit further with her. So, again, time will tell with her, but she's really awesome. I find her to be, like, the next sort of big bad for a while. I could see her, you know, teasing in a lot through these first 2 episodes until episode 3, and then there you go. But, again, that really settles with the episodes as of right now. Some little more news, really, on what we could get out of it. Some general things. There are plans to bring back some campaigns, and we talked about that the older campaigns hopefully are going to make a return into the light. There was a leak that came out that got a lot of credibility that was saying, oh yeah, the old campaigns will come back. But it looks like if that is not the case, they're going to start to do that more often next year, throughout this year, and it's going to be a lot like bringing back Forsaken Red War. You guys know it. The format will be changed a little to look like the quests from the timeline. The locations where this expansions took place won't come back, only the story missions told as events that happened in the past. So there's stuff that, you know, we would love to bring, but they're not gonna do it, even though their huge agenda that you guys know is that they want to bring all the stuff from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, and I think that's more taking a priority over bringing back stuff from Destiny 2 to Destiny 2. If that makes any sense, but, you know, that is the case. A free Leviathan pack is planned. It will add the Derelict Leviathan as a selectable destination and director next to the Moon, and will include the Duality Dungeon and Derelict Leviathan from Season of the Haunted. This is something they could definitely do. I think Season of the Haunted got some. It was overhated for some reason, but the destination that they brought back, even though it was very small, it was really interesting, and a lot of new players could just go in there and just spend a lot of time playing and looking at a little lore. And I don't know about that activity though. The new content is an Egregore-infested tribute halls. Since the area is already present in the Duality Dungeon, unsure if we will have to spend Bright Dust again or will be refunded. So this I do love. Obviously, this is like 10 out of 10. Even though if everything on this list doesn't come true, they better just add a infested tribute hall, guys. That's like the one thing I want. Give me that in Final Shape, for Christ's sake. Just give me that, god damn it. The Emperor's Respite Crucible map, the one with Egregore apparently now returns. I don't know if I'm a fan of that map. After a while, the Leviathan Ray will be added for free with reprised mechanics and the Egregore infested look. It will be simplified from the original version to be more linear, no underbelly for example, but most of the gear will be added back. Reprised Leviathan weapons look twisted like haunted weapons. There's a lot of things good here, but then there's something bad here. Like the no underbelly look, like that's what gave Leviathan amazing texture and what made it much better on my list when I was rating it, when I was playing it, and then of course rating it with other raids. So I don't know how I feel about this because it really destroys it in a way, and I'm not really a fan when Bungie adds something but half-ass. I don't know how I really feel about that, but I'm glad it comes back. But if it ruins it more than it actually adds it, it's gonna be kind of like, ugh, you know what I mean? It's not really awesome. I don't know if they're gonna do that instead of adding Wrath of the Machine. That's what I see more as the realistic option. That they're gonna add Levy back, but weird and half-assed. I don't really I need to see it, guys. I need to see it, but that's really gets me worried there with this next year. They're just gonna add Levy, so we have to wait and see. They plan up the clean collections menu from years of adding stuff in, mostly in the weapons category. The idea is to merge all variants of all the same weapon into one, including year ones with static rolls, but we'll be able to put a curated roll from any weapon. All sunset weapons will be unset, since most are redundant. Every old playlist weapon will be added to Legacy Focusing with Origin trait with refreshed perks. Other cosmetic rewards from playlist activities like emblems will drop randomly like they do in Iron Banner. One exotic armor piece for each class per episode, but instead of releasing all at once, only one will release every 6 weeks for a single class. The other classes will get heavy reworks for old armor, not simply changing numbers, but redone the trait entirely. I don't know how I feel about that. One exotic armor piece for each class per episode, but only one for each class every 6 weeks. Ugh. I don't know how I feel about that. I thought it meant like 3 every week. 6 weeks, only one exotic armor piece? That's going to cause a lot of backlash. I know it. No new info on the new subclass. The team is focusing on expanding what they already have there before adding all new stuff, which is really interesting because they're adding new stuff and then returning old stuff too. So I don't really know how I feel about that. But that really concludes what we got for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts on what you guys thought. Obviously, this is a very interesting leak. We have a lot of stuff going on, and, you know, who knows what Bungie will add going into the future, but we got to keep in mind that, you know, this is subject to change, but this is what we got so far. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.